Hey all, it's time for another book review. This time I'm here to review Gods of the Dark Web by Lucas Mangum. Every time I see his last name, I always want to say Magnum because it uses the same letters as Magnum, but it's Mangum. I reached out to Lucas on Twitter and he was kind enough to send me 3 of his books. I originally had reached out to him to read and review Saint Sadist, and I don't recall 100% who it was that I had originally seen that book from, but someone that I'm subscribed to on YouTube had read and reviewed that, and then I was like, wow, that sounds like something right up my alley. This is put out by Deadite Press, and I love the fact that when I was finished reading this, there's kind of like a little catalog of other Deadite Press books in the back. But enough of that, let's just get on with what this book is about. I'm going to have to throw out, this is where I'm going to put out the trigger warning, or, you know, I have to say, this is my disclaimer to let you know that if you have triggers, you should know if it's about the dark web, and let's face it, the dark web is not nice things. There tends to be all the stuff you can't have on the regular internet is found on the dark web. So, knowing that, if you're someone who's easily triggered, you should probably not read this. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's get into this. Now, this is extreme horror. Immediately when I first started reading this, I noticed it kind of has a feel like Hostel. The Hostel films, if you've ever seen them. It kind of has that feel to it. It has a feel like Hostel, like extreme kind of horror. And what goes on is there's these 2 guys, Leon and Shiloh, and they're basically, they decide to enter the dark web, hoping to purchase a gun illegally, and they're confronted with this random, like, website, like, pops up for them, and it shows this ghost town, and it says population 0, and it shows all these different weird, like, photos of this ghost town. And then, like, a message pops up on the screen and it says, would you like to come visit, or something along those lines. And then, like, creepy things start to happen to these 2 guys from there. Leon eventually gets kidnapped and his family's wondering where he is. And then his brother, who happens to be an author, decides to start trying to do his own investigation because it seems like the police are not doing anything. And he wants to find out where his brother had gone to. Where did he disappear to? One thing leads to another, and then I can't say too much more because then I feel like it's going to spoil it. This was a very short book. It was only like roughly around 100 some odd pages. Oh no, it was like 89 pages maybe. 93. So it was about 93 pages, so yeah, I can't say too much more without spoiling it. Now, when it comes to the whole concept of the dark web, you kind of, if you are familiar, if you're in the know about the dark web, you kind of have to ignore the fact that random websites do not just pop up out of nowhere when you're going and exploring the dark web. It just doesn't work that way. I'm not gonna go into explaining how the dark web works or talking about how you access the dark web. I feel like it's something that's kind of potentially dangerous, so I don't want to give people that kind of knowledge. You know, it's something you really shouldn't be accessing anyways, because it does involve a lot of illegal links and stuff like that, and illegal stuff like just not safe for work kind of stuff. But one of the things I noticed, that was like an inconsistency that I noticed with the book, and then I kind of noticed there was, you're not going to get no random links just popping up. Oh yeah, another thing I was going to mention is a lot of websites on the dark web, you have to have an invitation, like somebody has to give you the link to access a lot of these websites, and that's why I was like the whole random, like they access the dark web and there's just all these random links, doesn't say what they are or anything, like that's not legit, like that's not the dark web. But this is a different universe, and you gotta have to overlook that fact that in this universe, when you access the dark web, it's all random links, and yeah, yada yada yada. But that's how it works in this book. I enjoyed this. I gave this a 4 out of 5 star rating on Goodreads. It was really, really short. When I first started getting into this, I was thinking it was a 3.5. But like when I got to the end of it, it was really the clincher for me that sealed this as a 4-star book. The way it ended, like, I think was perfect, and it was spot on. I mean, I kind of had a feeling about one of the characters that was in the end of the story. I kind of had a feeling, like, I kind of felt like I knew that person was involved, but it just kind of reinforced it for me. And I like the way that Lucas kind of, like, sealed the deal with the ending of this book. I'm definitely sold on his works. Like I said, it is extreme horror. It's not for everyone, so I'm not going to say everyone who likes horror or thrillers should go check this out, because it is extreme. It does have like some brutality, and it does have some very not safe for work scenarios, like involving the dark web, when they're first searching the dark web and coming across these random scenes. There were some imagery that had to do with children, so like I said, that's why I gave a trigger warning in the beginning. You kind of have to remember and remind yourself that when it comes to something like extreme horror, it's supposed to shock and revolt you, you know, it's supposed to be shocking and revolting. So, like, you know, you just kind of have to understand it. That's why I threw out the movie reference that it's kind of like Hostel. You know, it's really extreme, so that way, you know, you're not going to go into this and be like, but Dan, you said this was a 4-star book. I went and read it, and I didn't like the scene or that scene, and yeah, so that's why I gave you the trigger warnings. I'm going to say right now, it's not for everyone. For those of you in the U.S., I will have a link to Amazon down below. I'm going to try and see if this is available on bookshop.org for you international folks. I can't promise that it's going to be on bookshop.org. I'm going to try to see if Lucas has his website, and maybe you can order it directly from him. I'm going to throw down my Ko-fi link if you don't mind donating a few bucks to my channel to help support me. I'm not receiving AdSense. Slowly growing, trying to reach that 1,000 subscribers. I realized, and I didn't even know that there were all these other horror booktube channels out there that have thousands of subscribers. And I'm like, wow, I've never heard of these people, and I was shocked by that. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys. If you came here looking for horror recommendations and reviews, please hit that subscriber button. While you're there, hit that notification bell so you're well aware of when I upload again. That's all I got for you guys. Till next time, this has been Dan. Stay healthy and be good to you.